The cow has officially been milked. It is milked dry. There's nothing left. It's practically dead at this point. Daniel Plainview has drank the milkshake. He drank it up. So you probably heard the news that the Star Wars Episode 9 trailer dropped today. And is it just me, or can it just be over? And it actually may be. Not really. Anyway, I thought what we would do is try to take a little foray into the world of trailer reactionist stuff, something. I don't want to step on YouTube's toes too much, so I'm not going to just show the full trailer in its entirety. I'm going to kind of just section off a couple of little bits, may not even have audio with it, and just talk about some of my thoughts regarding the trailer, and then maybe talk about some of the news that dropped along with the trailer. So the only thing that really excited me in that trailer is the fact that it says the saga is coming to an end. Now, to offer full disclosure here, I haven't seen the last Star Wars movie. I saw what was the first reboot one? The Force Awakens? Yeah. I saw that one. I thought the movie was pretty terrible, to be honest, and not necessarily that it was technically bad, it was just boring. It just wasn't that interesting. Like, the plot and everything is like just a whole rehash, and they're just taking something that was good from the past, making it in the present day with better visual effects and stuff, and that's all cool to see and whatnot, but it's been so overdone. Like, it's just not as exciting, maybe for kids. And, who's to say that Star Wars isn't really aimed at kids now? But just as far as, like, movies in general go, it just wasn't that good. It's like you took good elements of something from the past and you put bad characters in it. Like, it's just none of the characters are interesting like the original Star Wars series. Whatever your feelings about the prequels were, not as good or whatever, but at least it was still directed by George Lucas, which is probably, more of a negative than it is a positive. But in any case, I tried to watch it and I was wholly uninterested. And one of the things that bugged me about it is a lot of people have talked about this. I'm like way late on sharing any thoughts like this, but it's just she's suddenly a Jedi and can do all this crazy stuff. You got Harrison Ford's character, what's his name, Han Solo? He's been working on the Millennium Falcon for how long? Like, that's his ship, dude. That's like what he does. And then she just finds it in a scrap heap and is like, I'll show you how to fix this thing and how to fly it and make it run right. And he's like, oh, whoa. It's like, you kidding me? It was just like needlessly propping her up as the hero in the movie with things that just didn't make any sense. It's like so forced. And then, she's got all the Jedi powers with no training or anything, completely breaking any and everything that the previous Star Wars movies had set up. Get out of here with that. Yeah, it's so lazy. The whole plot and everything was just kind of lame and uninteresting, and maybe it's just me being, a cynic and skeptical of everything and just kind of being bored with it. I'm not like the hugest fan of Star Wars as it is, but I do enjoy the movies, especially the old ones. And it just doesn't have the same charm anymore. Again, maybe if you're a little kid, you're coming up and these are like the first Star Wars movies you're seeing, it's probably amazing, especially with the visual effects being so good nowadays. But, I don't know. I just can't, it just didn't do it for me. So I wasn't really interested at all in seeing the next one. I did watch Rogue One. Is that the name of it? Like the one that was kind of like a Star Wars war movie. Kind of had the same issue there. It's just, they're kind of just uneventful. There's nothing, the character development nowadays in movies just doesn't seem to be as good as it used to be, or something. I don't really know what it is. I haven't really devoted a lot of time to analyzing this and trying to hash it all out in my mind, but there's just something missing from it, and it's obviously trying to like push these certain ideas of what they want the characters to be and what place the character has to be in and all this stuff, and it's just too forced, too lazy. And case in point with this trailer, the opening scene, which in my opinion was just way too long and drawn out. They're expecting it to be this huge, like, oh man, it's the next Star Wars, and I guess for a lot of people that is the reaction they'll have. But for me, it was just long and drawn out for no reason. It's like, oh, she's a badass standing in the desert, she's waiting on something, and there's a ship coming right at her, she's turning her back to it. Oh no, what's she gonna do? So she starts running, she does a backflip, and it's all slow-mo and epic, and I'm just like, can we get on to something? Like, who cares? We know she's not going to get hit by it or anything. Like, what is so epic about this? Again, maybe if you're a kid. I guess the hook in this one is that they're bringing Palpatine back or something. That's kind of what it alluded to with the laugh towards the end, but I don't know. Maybe, you know, if it's on Netflix or something, I'll try to catch the last one that came out. What is it? The Last Jedi or something like that. And maybe my view of it will differ, but I just haven't been impressed with the new Star Wars movies, and that's why I'm making this video, to say that I'm glad that it's possibly coming to an end. It's not coming to an end. They're going to keep making more because people will keep watching them, but we can always hope. With that in mind, there's a couple of articles that came out in relation to the release of this teaser, so I thought we'd have a look and see what the hubbub is all about. So this first article here is the one that's actually talking about the release of the trailer itself. So let's see what they have to say, any information that maybe I'm missing out on in regards to why this is such an amazing announcement. The first trailer for Star Wars Episode 9, which we now know is titled Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, is here. Director J.J. Abrams, aka Mr. Lens Flare, Lucasfilm president, blah blah blah, who cares about this stuff? They're having some kind of like panel convention thing or something, and it's like, yeah, whatever. Episode 9 will pick up years after the events of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Rey, Finn, Poe, oh my god, their names are so bad, and the remaining rebels of the Resistance have not only survived the onslaught from the evil First Order, but this is written like a kid's story, man. I guess all signs point north. The Star Wars is meant for children. I don't know what it was before in the originals. It didn't seem like movies that were made for kids, but I guess regardless of what those were, this is where we are now. They'll face Kylo Ren's disciples, the Knights of Ren. Oh, are these really the names of things? Like, do I just have a blind eye to the names of things in the originals or something? Because I don't remember them being this cringy. This movie, it's about the new generation and what they've inherited, the light and the dark, and asking the question as they face the greatest evil. Are they prepared? Are they ready? Abrams said during today's Episode 9 panel. Oh boy, that sure gets my blood pumping. What's gonna happen? It's not the same cookie cutter thing that happens in every movie, right? Anyway, let's move on to a bit more exciting news. Star Wars movies go on hiatus after Episode 9. I think Luke Skywalker there has my face when I heard about the new trailer. Though the November launch of the Disney Plus streaming service will see an aggressive push by the Walt Disney Company to bring Star Wars franchise to the small screen and live action. Small screen and live action? Oh, I guess because of the little animated series. After the Thursday announcement of Disney Plus, Iger, however you say his name, people need to have normal names. Why can't you people just get readable names? Told Bloomberg Television that there were no specific plans for movies after Star Wars Episode 9, though a number of unannounced films were in development. Why'd I say the? So there you go. The dream has been crushed. They're not done with Star Wars. Who could have guessed? We will take a pause, some time, and reset, he said, because the Skywalker saga comes to an end with this 9th movie. I'm sure. There will be other Star Wars movies, but there will be a bit of a hiatus. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Also on the slate is a trilogy of films written and directed by The Last Jedi director Rian Johnson. When news broke in November 2017, just before the release of Johnson's Last Jedi, Lucasfilms emphasized a disconnect from the familiar arc. In shepherding this new trilogy, which is separate from the episodic Skywalker saga, Johnson will introduce new characters from a corner of the galaxy that Star Wars lore has never before explored. Oh boy, they're gonna do something we've never seen before. The meager box office of last year's Solo: A Star Wars Story seems to have dampened Lucasfilm's original plans for a run of spin-off movies. Ooh. Those spin-offs, which began with 2016's Rogue One, were rumored to include an Obi-Wan standalone movie directed by Stephen, how do you pronounce that name? Sometimes people seem to say Steven, some say Stephen, I don't know. And a Boba Fett spin-off from Logan writer-director James Mangold. Now, Logan was a good movie. If they have that guy come in and make something, and he's kind of allowed to do what he did similar with Logan, I'll be interested. While either project could still be in active development, neither has been formally announced as the Johnson or Benioff and Wise project. These people and their names, man. Despite setting up a sequel, a second Han Solo movie has also not been suggested as a direction for the franchise. So there you have it. Star Wars is done, but it's not done. Yeah, it's not just Star Wars. We're talking about this particular story arc, this particular saga. It's done. Ish. Like, who knows? They always say that, and then, like, you never know where they're going to go with things. They're always going to try to bring it back up if they think it's going to make some more moolah. There it is. There's my little rant. Hopefully I'll get better at making these videos one day where I can kind of articulate myself and my thoughts a little bit more thoroughly, because I feel like I really haven't expressed just how bored and done I am of hearing of Star Wars. Does that matter? Probably not. But it's what I think. And this is my YouTube channel, so I'm going to tell you what I think. Do you disagree? Good for you.